By default in PhpStorm, once the scroll bar reaches end of the file, we cannot scroll the file further. But sometimes it might be useful to be able to scroll even more. So to enable this behavior, I'm going to switch over to the general settings. And right here we have to select the following option, show virtual space at the bottom of the file. So after applying the settings, now we can see that we are able to scroll a lot more than before. And personally, for me, this tends to be a very useful feature. The next setting is related to removing white spaces at the end of the current line after saving. But currently, if we're gonna save the file, we'll see that those spaces are not removed. So let's scroll down further in this settings list until the setting keep trailing spaces on current line. Let's disable the setting. And after saving changes and saving the file, we can actually see that those white space characters will be removed at the end of the current line. The next setting is pretty similar, which allows us to remove extra blank lines at the bottom of the file. So to tell PhpStorm to remove blank lines automatically at the end of the file, we have to enable the following setting, remove trailing blank lines at the end of the saved files. But along with that, I'm also going to enable the next setting, ensure every saved file ends with a line break. Because based on several conventions, it is actually recommended to keep one blank line at the end of each file. So as we can see right now, there will be only one blank line left at the end of the file. Next one, I prefer to disable these vertical guides. So let's jump to the appearance section and uncheck the following setting, show indent guides. And after applying these changes, we'll see that those vertical lines will be gone. Moving on, depending on the position of the caret, sometimes such light bulb icon will appear with a list of all possible refactorings. But as always, we can do those refactorings much faster if we're gonna use keyboard shortcuts, so I tend to usually disable that light bulb icon. To do so, we need to disable the following setting, show intention bulb. Next one, let's switch over to the blade template, and right here at the right side we can see such vertical line, which basically shows us the limit how long lines in this file can be. In my case, I prefer disabling this line. So let's uncheck the following setting, show hard wrap and visual guides. And there we go, the line is gone. Next one, if we're going to hover over some of these marks on the scroll bar area, we're gonna get such code lengths. I never use this code lengths, so I'm going to disable it by unchecking the following option, show code lengths on scroll bar hover. Then by default PhpStorm also highlights opening or closing tag depending on where our caret currently is. In case you'd like to disable this highlighting, this is also possible. Let's get back to the settings. And we basically have to uncheck the setting called enable HTML XML text re-highlighting. And as you can see now, closing or opening tags are not highlighted. Moving on. Now we're going to hide this bottom line, which is usually called breadcrumbs. It's very easy to disable. Let's open up settings, go into breadcrumbs section and uncheck the setting show breadcrumbs. And that's it. That line is gone. Next one, very useful feature of any IDE is auto-completion. Whenever we type some code, we're gonna get such pop-up with a list of all possible autocompletes. This is very useful, but I tend to keep it hidden and open it only when I need it by using keyboard shortcut. So let's prevent that pop-up from appearing automatically by disabling the following item, show suggestions as you type. And now that pop-up is not going to appear automatically. Next setting is also related to the pop-up, but this time this pop-up contains information about parameters of the function. Once we start typing function, we're gonna get such pop-up with a list of parameters. I prefer to hide this pop-up. Let's scroll down a little bit and disable the following setting. And after applying the changes, the pop-up will not appear. Another element that PhpStorm adds automatically is this parameter names. Somebody might prefer those, but I usually hide them, so I'm gonna switch back to the settings. In here we have to scroll down further until the section inlay hints, and right here we can select those elements that still have to be visible, but I'm going to disable everything. Next one, if we're going to position our caret on the opening brace or closing brace, this brace as well as the other brace will be highlighted. I'm going to disable this behavior by disabling the setting called matched brace under code editing section right here. Let's save the changes and make sure that braces are not highlighted anymore. And finally, the last setting we're going to review in this lesson is related to quick documentation. Whenever we're gonna hover over some elements, we're gonna get such quick documentation pop-up. If you'd like to disable this pop-up, we can do this easily by disabling the following setting: show quick documentation on hover. Let's save the changes, and from now on there will be no documentation appearing on hover. Let's keep going in the next lesson.